Once upon a time, in a beautiful forest full of chirping birds and playful animals, there stood a tall, strong tree. Unlike the other trees in the forest, this tree was never happy to share its shade, its fruits, or even its branches. Whenever birds came to rest on its branches, it would shake them off with its leaves. When animals came to take shelter in its shade, it would drop dry, crispy leaves on them. And when the little squirrels tried to climb up its trunk, it would pull its branches up so that none could climb. So all the animals and birds in the forest hated that tree. They would often complain, "Oh, how selfish is that tree? It never wants to share anything with anyone." One day, the weather turned very hot. The sun was shining bright, and the heat made the animals and birds feel very uncomfortable. All the birds flew and sat on the branches of a big tree. All the animals went and hid in the shade of a huge rock. After some time, the selfish tree also felt the heat and wished that it had some shade to relax. But then it remembered what it had done to the birds and animals. So it just stood there alone under the hot sun. Then soon dark clouds started to gather in the sky. Strong winds started to blow and the animals and birds started to get scared. Suddenly, the birds flew and sat on the branches of a big tree. The animals ran and hid under the shade of a big rock. The selfish tree stood alone and all by itself. When a loud clap of thunder echoed in the sky, all the trees joined hands and protected each other with their branches. But the selfish tree, with no friends around, got struck by lightning, and one of its big branches fell down with a loud crash. The selfish tree cried, "Oh, why didn't anyone help me?" A tiny bird that was sitting on the branch of another tree saw the plight of the lonely tree and said softly, "Because you never let anyone come close to you. You were too busy keeping everything for yourself?" The selfish tree looked around. For the first time, it saw that all the trees were busy protecting each other, and some of the younger trees were happily swinging in the wind. The selfish tree felt something stronger than the wind inside of it. For the first time, it felt loneliness. The next morning after the storm, the animals came out of their hiding place and saw the fallen branch of the tree. Soon little birds also arrived and chirped, "Oh, our nest was destroyed in the storm. Where will we go now?" The selfish tree felt sad, looking at them. It bent its branches low and dropped some of its fruits for the animals and called out to the birds to make a nest in its branches. Slowly, the animals started coming back. Some of them ate the sweet fruits and some climbed up the tree and made their homes in its branches. The birds chirped happily, and the tree smiled. It finally understood that happiness grows when we share. From that day on, the tree became the happiest tree in the forest, and all the animals and birds lived happily ever after. The end.